Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. This week I'm going to be chatting to you a bit about handstands. A few people have requested that I share my sort of experience and maybe a few tips with you all, so here goes. First of all, talking about my experience with handstands. So as probably some of you will know, I'm an ex-gymnast and an ex-dancer, so being upside down and thrown around comes quite naturally to me. I love being upside down. But I am by no means a master of handstands. I never was as a gymnast. I was very much like a power gymnast, so doing tumbling and somersaults and things, not so much balancing and holding handstands on the beam for hours and hours. So that just wasn't my thing. It's something I've always struggled with, and handstands is something that I've always really wanted to grasp. So the truth is that I probably fall out of a handstand more often than I hold a handstand, and that is just the reality. As a gymnast, I was taught handstands in a slightly different way to how I do them now. So as a gymnast, it was all about tensing every single part of the body and staying really rigid and sucked in. And don't get me wrong, that works. That worked when I was a gymnast, and it still works for many people now. But now that I'm a bit more of a yogi and do my handstands in more of a kind of free flow kind of vibe, I've sort of taught myself a slightly different way of doing it. So I'm still very much like using the muscles, really sucking in my core, but it's all about finding that sweet spot of balance. And then being able to move freely with your legs and things while you're upside down. Obviously I'm saying all this and I'm not quite at that point yet. I'm not in handstand for minutes on end, swishing around my legs into lotus and all sorts. So if you're a pure beginner, then a good thing to do is just practice kicking. So getting that motion up there. So coming in to find sort of a downward facing dog, stepping in very slightly and just hopping off the floor. And you could use this as an exercise every day, switching legs. This is my much worse leg. And then at some point you may just feel that confidence rising to kick that little bit further and further and further until you find that sweet spot. So if it's handstands that you really want to do, but you've got that fear of falling or that fear of being upside down, if it's a fear of being upside down, I would definitely recommend working on your headstands and your forearm stands first, really strengthening the arms, the shoulders, really strengthening the core as well, because ultimately, you know, it's great to get over that fear of falling and just, you know, throw yourself into it. But with regards to safety, if you've got that initial strength and balance, then that's going to help you no end. So if there's a fear of falling, I suppose I have, as a gymnast, I taught myself kind of a safer way of falling. So if I thought I was going to fall, I never bent my arms, I just kind of twisted to one side out of it. Now I'm going to show you this, my legs will probably be out of the screen, and I'm sure you're going to look at it and be like, yeah, Kat, like that's not possible for somebody that doesn't want to go upside down, but I'm kind of just trying to delve as far back as I can to try and kind of show you guys what I do. So I'm kicking up to handstand, catching it. Oh, see? Don't always catch it every time. I'm going to throw myself maybe a little bit too far this time in the hope that I'll fall. So I think it's slightly scary because I've got walls either side of me. So I always twist my body around to the side to then try and find that kind of safe fall position. I'm not really too sure if you'll even have got that in the video. I'll probably look at this back and be like, no, that just looked awful. I'll show you again. I mean, obviously one of the best things to do if you've got that fear of falling is kicking up to the wall and then kind of just bouncing yourself off slightly. So obviously I think it's a bit easier for people to kick up with their back to the wall, but I'd actually recommend walking your feet up facing the wall, getting that sort of slight dish shape and really drawing in through the lower belly, and maybe tapping the toes off of the wall to kind of test the balance every now and again. So another couple of tips, once you're up in handstand, for me it's all about the core. It's really drawing in through that core, and also the hands. So I always have my fingers really spread out, and I have what's called, I suppose, spider hands. So I will I'll show you what I mean. So when I'm in my handstand, I kind of grip on to the floor. So I really pull up the middle parts of my finger, and then if I ever feel like I'm going backwards, I grip on to bring me back to the neutral. And then if I ever feel like I'm coming down, I really use my core. So obviously it doesn't work every time. Like I say, I'm still such a beginner at handstands. But you can kind of see what I mean. It's kind of like that give and take and finding that perfect bit of balance. So one of the main muscles as well that is used for handstands are our serratus muscles. So they're found down here, and they're really useful for helping find that lift and helping us just find that strength to root down through the hands, but still finding that lift. They're also known as boxers' muscles, because boxers, when they're doing this, yes, that's my brilliant impression of boxing, they build the muscles, the serratus muscles, really well. So if any of you watching do a lot of boxing or anything, or want to take up boxing, then hopefully that will help strengthen for your handstands as well. Another really helpful thing to do is to get someone else to help you. So if you kick up to handstand and they grab your legs and help you, I suppose, up to that centre point, they can then take their hands away from your legs and put their arms either side. And so the idea is that you can kind of bounce between their arms with your legs. So you don't want it to be kind of like they're pushing you back and forth. Like I said, so using the core and using your hands, sort of try and lift yourself away from their arm on one side, try and find that sweet spot, fall back onto them. With any inversions, just make sure that you're not kind of throwing yourself upside down too frequently without taking a bit of a rest and letting the blood, you know, find its way back down the body. So I normally come and find child's pose afterwards, which normally really helps kind of just center myself again. Another thing is if you are afraid of the falling, don't do it on a hard surface like I'm on here. Maybe go to the park, do it on grass. Try it on the beach, although I actually find the beach to be quite hard. I have fallen out of handstands many times on the beach. So yeah, or go to a local gym, and if they've got any soft mats, maybe do it over them, so that in case you do fall, you know, got a little bit of padding around you. But I think that a lot of the time people fall badly because they're so scared of it, rather than if you kind of get your mindset into it, then you're less likely to have a bad fall. So I just want to show you guys now the kind of real version of my handstands. You know, you see the pretty pictures on Instagram, and I might share a nice video, but realistically 1 out of 5 goes where I want it to go. So let's see how we get on. And typically, on the first attempt, I seem to have found it. That is very unlike me. Ooh, there you go. There you go. So I fell out of one. They never looked particularly stable. The alarm for my soup just went off. I'm making some red pesto and tomato roasted soup. I just thought I'd share that with you in case I can't edit this bit out. So yeah, there you have it. That kind of gives a little bit of an insight into handstands. Hopefully this has been helpful. If I were a master of handstands, then I'd be able to give you lots and lots of tips on how to just throw yourself up there and stay for hours, but I'm yet to find that. So if you find a person that can teach me, then do let me know, because I want to learn more. Anyway, I hope you guys have found this video useful. Please do comment below and let me know if you did, or if there's anything else you'd like me to share on the whole handstand topic. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.